MyQuickFlips.com is the single best way to get top dollar for your video games. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through not only how to create an account and send your first batch, but also my best insider tips for how to leverage this website to make the most money possible. So we'll start out here at the login screen. I've got my info put in here already. If you've never created an account with QuickFlips before, you can click the Create an Account button, which will bring up a couple extra dialog boxes for you here. That'll just allow you to confirm your password and then get a link sent to your email to confirm the account. The referral code box is totally optional. You don't need to put anything there. I already have an account, so we're just going to go ahead and log in. Now, this message that it pops up here is my first tip. It's really important. This is if you are on mobile, if you're using this on your phone like 80% of our users do, it will prompt you to install the QuickFlips website as a shortcut on your home screen, which basically takes it from operating like a website to operating just like an app. I really like this for convenience reasons, so I'll go ahead and click the options icon here, and then we'll click Add it to home screen, is at least how it looks on iOS. You can see it defaults to calling it QuickFlips with that awesome icon there. And now, from now on, every time I want to use QuickFlips, I can just bring up the app version here, and we can now click Don't Show Again, and now we can go ahead and start searching our games. Now let's say I have a copy of Pokemon Fire Red version here that I am looking to sell. There are a couple ways that I can go about looking it up and seeing what price QuickFlips would offer me for it. The first one is, as you would expect, just searching it. So I'll go ahead and search Fire Red, and we'll see if it comes up here. Pokemon Fire Red, and you can see the top option there is Game Boy Advance. So we'll go ahead and click that. And here we can see the price charting values up top here, which is just like the going market rate. And then the more important part is the QuickFlips offer, which will vary based on condition. I'm going to go ahead and you can see there's complete, there's missing manual, there's loose. This little flame icon here means that that condition of the game is on our hot list and is an especially competitive price. This copy here is actually complete, so we'll go ahead and select complete condition, and then we will click Sell. This will give us a box that prompts us to select a Phoenix batch. In the future, this is actually going to be a little bit more clear and say games and handhelds rather than Phoenix, because that's essentially what it means. Every single game or item that you sell on QuickFlips will go to one of two destinations. Any of your games and handheld consoles will go in the same batch to come to us at the QuickFlips warehouse, and then any consoles or controllers will go in a separate batch to go to our buying partner, Sosa Games. So at this point, you can go ahead and add to selected lists, and you can see that we have a confirmation that this is now in our batch of items to send off to sell. But that's actually not the only way that you can look up an item to sell. You can also press this middle scan button on the bottom here, which, if you have allowed camera access, will allow you to scan the barcode of your game and bring up the prices even quicker. Now, the final and most efficient way to add games to your batch is actually to use a new feature that we have called AI Smart Scan. So we'll go ahead and select the second option here. And it's going to walk you through this little tips window for if you have multiple games and you want to scan them in all at once. Here's how to orient them to take a nice picture of them so that the AI has the best chance of correctly identifying every single game. In this example, we do have a stack of games sitting right here on the desk, so I'll go ahead and snap a photo of all of the spines. We'll click Use Photo, and then Analyze Photo. Now, we generally recommend, as this thing is thinking, to do no more than 20 games in this format. You can, if they're cartridges, you can lay them out flat on a table, or if they are disc games or box games like this, you can lay them out on top of each other so that it can identify their spines. You can see that it has correctly identified that there are 7 games in this stack, and it is looking like it correctly identified the titles as well, which is great. I would always verify this. Then all you'll need to do is go through and select all of the conditions of the games that you have. In this case, these are all complete. Technically, actually, I think Ribbit King is missing its manual, so we will switch that to M condition. Then from there, you can go ahead and calculate the prices all in bulk for those conditions. And you can see it was pretty quick with getting back to us. These are a lot of pricier games with the price for each. If you were discontent and you said, actually, I kind of want to keep Ribbit King if the offer is $90, I'll go ahead and toss it out of my stack. and press this little red icon there, and then it automatically just takes it out of this little stack. Once I'm happy with all of the games that I know I do want to sell, you can go ahead and click Add Games to Batch, and it will do them all at once. Now at this stage you may be asking, okay, that's great, but I have some games that are sort of questionable condition. Can those also be sold on QuickFlips? Maybe it has water damage, or the disc is kind of scratchy, or maybe there's a torn label, something like that. And you're curious what games qualify and what games we aren't able to accept or would have to make a deduction for. For that, you can go to the corner menu and go to our condition guidelines. And this, again, is split up between games and handhelds and consoles and accessories, because those will go in different batches. So if we bring up the game and handheld condition guidelines, for example, it's then broken down in terms of you have common deductions, you have deductions that we're making for like battery-powered handhelds, rechargeable handhelds, cartridges, and then regular games. Then at the bottom of the screen here, if you want visual examples, you also can see condition examples that way. And I believe that it will prompt you to click through all of these anyway before you actually submit your first batch. Another good tip here is if you do have a good number of Player's Choice or Greatest Hits kind of special edition games, we do pay the exact same for those as we do for the regular versions. One really good reason to read through all the condition guidelines before sending off your batch, especially on the console and accessory side in this example, is that you actually may be able to make more money than you think, because we actually pay extra for adapters that are included for a lot of different consoles. You can see in this little other deductions and bonuses section here that there are a good number of like plus $5, plus $3, plus $5 for different kinds of power adapters. So when you're selling consoles and you see we're offering maybe 50 bucks for a GameCube, that's for the console only. It doesn't have to include a controller or adapters. The controller can be listed separately through our search feature. The adapters can't because they're not tied to like a database listing, but if you include an adapter, you will get a bonus $3 or $5 or whatever based on this list. So definitely take a look at this list before selling consoles. A few other good things to note on the game and handheld guidelines section: we do not charge for games that may need to be resurfaced as long as they are tested and working. We don't charge for replacing plastic cases for disc-based games. And we also don't charge if your Pokemon cartridge game has a dry save battery that needs to be replaced. That's something that we used to make a deduction for that now we no longer do. And if you want more information, we also have a whole video dedicated to specific examples of condition guidelines that you can actually see on the training videos tab. You can see the second video here is our conditions guide, and we have a third video on how to safely ship items in bulk to us if you are interested. Now on to another really important topic: how to get paid. For this, we can go to the account screen, and here you can click update your account info, either to like change your name that you are getting paid out to, or to change your payment method. We pay through either e-checks, which is a standard check that is sent to you through email that you can then print out and sign and deposit like a regular check, or through PayPal goods and services. You can check either one of those options that works for you here, and then also modify if you want to change the email that you get that check to or the email that is associated with your PayPal account. But at this point, we've skipped ahead a little bit. Let's go to the Batches tab and talk about what happens when you actually submit a batch. Now first, you'll get this little instructional window here, which kind of gives you the full breakdown. You search your games, you ship your games to us in a batch, and then you can get paid once we have received it and inspected and tested everything. Now you can see in our current batch of stuff that we have just added, we've got 7 items for a total value of $1,000. Definitely a high value little stack that we had here. And once you're happy with this list, first of all, if you want to remove any items, you can just click this bulk remove items toggle here, select one, and then just click remove, and it will automatically adjust your total for you. Then once you're done with that, you can go ahead and submit your batch. Now here you'll have to agree to the terms of sale that just give you an idea of, payment times and say, hey, if we need to make deductions, we can make deductions, and we will finalize that. And then it continues to pretty much walk you through it. It'll say, hey, go ahead and check your email. You need to print out the invoice that we send to you that has everything listed out and the dollar amounts and a batch ID and your payment information on it. Print that thing out, put it in your box along with all of your games, and in that email you will also get the shipping address to send everything to. Just do pay attention that depending on the carrier that you're shipping through, the address will change slightly because it is a PO box, at least at this time. In the future, we may have a street address, so take that with a grain of salt. Now, once you do get paid out for this batch, it will be reflected in your lifetime payouts here on the search or home screen, which is kind of cool. From here, the only other major tab that we haven't talked about is the lots tab. This is something that can be helpful if you're trying to calculate the overall market value of a lot that you have or track a collection or something like that. We're hoping in the future to add a feature here where you can see not only the market value, but also the QuickFlips value of games in these collections and transfer them easily to a batch to send to us. At the time of recording this video in April of 2025, we don't have that feature, but if you've been around for any amount of time, you guys know we are constantly making progress and putting out new features. So the last thing that we'll talk about here is this corner menu. If you have any support questions, you can reach out to us at support@myquickflips.com. But more importantly, this refer a friend tab is something, a new feature that we have here where you can generate your own affiliate link and send it to a friend if they have a collection to sell. If they use that link to sign up for QuickFlips for the first time, and if they use that link to sign up for QuickFlips for the first time, not only will they get a $10 bonus on their first shipment, but you'll also get a 5% cut of whatever their payout was. So once they get paid on their first batch, within 30 days is when you will get your affiliate cut of that shipment. Most of our shipments are in the like $400 range on average. So if that was the case, it would be a $20 kickback to you for referring a friend. Beyond that, I just have a few bonus tips for you to get the most out of this site. The first one is watch out for our monthly email updates. It's possible they might get filtered to spam, but that is where we say any prices that we're increasing, any promotions that we're running. For example, this month at the time of recording, any games that are worth over $40, we're giving a 10% bonus for, and also a $10 bonus on any GameCube or Wii U consoles. All of that information, along with any big feature updates, is going to be available in our monthly emails. We do not spam our users. The only time I'll ever send more than one email per month is if we have a massive feature dropping that people really need to know about. Sending us extra clean batches that don't need any prep at all, from pins cleaning or case replacement or resurfacing or anything like that, can sometimes get you a little bonus payment just as a thank you from us. I also wanted to give the tip that my personal favorite way to look up a bunch of games consecutively is actually from the hot list tab. For example, if I'm sourcing games and I'm looking at a huge Wii section, I will sort by Nintendo Wii, and then I'll just use the search here, for example, Mario, to go ahead and immediately filter for all of the Mario games, and then at a super quick glance, I can just see all the prices sorted by condition if I'm trying to source games to sell on QuickFlips. And then the last tip that I had is actually using the AI Smart Scan feature to quickly assess the amount that you might want to pay for a certain lot of games, whether it's on Facebook Marketplace or eBay or in an in-person deal at a flea market or something like that. Being able to use the Smart Scan feature to quickly take a picture of those games, use that photo, and then within 30 seconds or so, get a quick analysis of exactly what you could get by selling these games on QuickFlips will be my final favorite tip of the day. As always, we're working as hard as we can to make this site as intuitive and easy to use as possible and decrease the amount of time that it takes to get people paid on their games. Thank you guys so much for trusting us with your video games. Let's make some money together.